Today on Learn Me Something
Casinos.
versus
The history of coffee.
Have I ever told you about my 13-month calendar idea?
No. What would the 13-month be named? Don't think about it, just answer.
Bark.
Okay.
I don't stand by that. I'm open to suggestions. But okay, so the idea is, will you get out your calculator, please?
Of course.
Perfect. So, right now, our calendar is just a mess. You have
Agreed.
12
probably.
months, and you don't know like what months have a certain amount of days. It's just pure chaos.
Yep.
But you know, like in February, where sometimes it lines up perfectly, where it's like Sunday, it's just like a perfect block.
Yeah, and
you
it's
know, 'cause
glorious.
28.
Yeah.
Here's my proposal:
Propose it.
13 months, all with 28 days, except that leaves one extra day. But do you know what that means?
The Purge.
Every first of the month is the same day. Every second of the month is the same day. So you could plan ahead really well, a lot better.
Okay, that's... Yeah, because then it could be like every first Monday of the month we do this.
Every month is exactly 4 weeks.
Oh, wow. Why
Think
didn't
about
have-
that.
Would that mess with our winter, summer, fall, spring season cycle?
Well, you got 3 months per season, so it might, but you could just extend summer an extra month. I think everyone would be okay with that.
I'm okay with it, personally.
But just imagine, you're like, okay, what are we doing? Or when is the 7th of November? Oh, today's the 7th, so it's a Tuesday or whatever.
Sunday. We're still confused.
It's just beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Yeah, exactly 4 weeks, and then just the last day could be like Christmas
Fun
2.0
day.
or
Yeah.
extra New Year's Eve
New
or
Year's
something.
plus one.
Or just New Year's Day is the one, and then it starts over at January.
Oh.
Think about that.
And all crime is legal.
Oh, and the reason, the reason I said to get your calculator out.
Oh, thank you.
Was to double check, because 13 times 28 should be 364.
3 times 28 equals 364. How do leap years factor into
Boom.
this?
I'll get rid of them. I don't know.
Who needs them?
Well,
I personally
you could
believe they
still-
serve no purpose.
you could still do an extra day or every 4 years. That's no problem.
Yeah.
The only problem is it would just be like a Y2K situation again,
Oh.
where the world might explode, but it won't.
Because we'd be starting at 0.
Right.
Or picture this. Just 2022 and it just starts. We don't even tell people.
Oh,
We
surprise.
speak with Apple and Samsung, have them automatically update the calendar app.
We put the 13th month at the beginning. Get it out of the way.
Yeah, so it goes bark, January, February, March.
Ends with December, then New Year's Day, then bark again.
So this is what's up with you then? What's all the new biz?
This is the things I think about.
Nice. Okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think about trying to make the world a better place. So sorry to be an innovator,
I'm sorry.
but
Oh, what a guy.
I never sleep. I just innovate.
So that was your thing. My thing is I started taking cold showers.
Oh,
So I'm doing this whole 1% thing. So every week I try to pick a single easy thing to be 1% better for exponential growth, Josiah.
wow.
And so the last 2 weeks, every weekday morning, I take a freezing cold shower, and it is fantastic.
How does that make you better?
It wakes you up, obviously, because you come from drowsy to survival mode,
Okay.
and it gets your blood flowing really fast.
Mm-hmm.
So it really just gets your body moving.
Gotcha.
But it also is healthy for your skin, and it clears. Don't ask me the science behind this, but I looked at a couple
believe it.
sites, and
I
they
believe
all
it.
said it, so it's trustworthy.
I believe it.
It clears out your lymphatic system, which is, if I remember right, where like your white blood cells hang out. So basically, the center that keeps you healthy or is a factor in keeping you healthy.
Really?
So, yeah, it's like a little immune booster just by taking a quick 3-minute freezing shower that's pretty miserable.
Little moon booster.
Yeah, and supposedly it's like 5 times more effective than coffee in the morning. And I will actually...
You think so?
Yeah, I would actually agree.
Okay.
Usually I'm pretty tired and I take it and I'm unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
And then right when I get out, the second I get warm, I'm like, man, I'm like pretty awake right now.
Okay.
So you go.
What's your next thing gonna be?
Well,
Your
let's
next
see. That was a
1%.
couple weeks ago. Last week I did no checking my phone before I get out of bed
Ah.
or before I get out of my bedroom.
Yeah.
So I don't just sit there scrolling when I
Yes,
wake
that's
up.
a good thing to do.
And then I don't know what this one will be.
Figure it out.
Probably something with social media. I
Yeah.
want to use it more, I think.
Yeah. At least 5 times a day.
Yeah. I want to make sure I'm checking
hour
every
each.
15
Yeah.
minutes so I'm not missing out on
Yeah.
stuff.
That is a good idea. That will make you exponentially better.
Yep. Welcome to the Learn Me Something podcast. If you've not been here before, this is the world's first competitive podcast where we compete. We each bring a new topic each week, present it to each other, and then it's your job as the listener to vote for who you thought was better. You can vote in the link in our little episode dilly.
Just scroll down a little bit.
Yeah, there you go. Or you can go to our social media at Learn Podcast. You can vote there. We have a lot of fun over there. I just recently posted an over-the-top YouTube spoof video about a bowl. So that's what's going on.
Pure excitement. Which actually, you got to give a shout out to, what's the name of this?
It's Confetti Rain.
Confetti Rain.
Yep, so if you go on Instagram, you're going to want to go on to at Confetti Rain blog. And that's going to take you to the person who had this goof bowl made for us. If you don't know what the goof bowl is, I'm sure you'll find out this episode. I'm feeling extra stumbly in my words
yeah.
tonight.
Oh, good. It's really cool.
It is cool.
When I saw the video that you posted, my mouth literally, like my jaw dropped. I was like,
Oh no!
that is awesome. So it will live here forever.
When I did that unboxing, I took it out and at first I didn't see. So I was like, oh, okay.
bowl.
So she's just sending a bowl
Yeah.
instead of, because we were using a jar.
Yeah, which doesn't work out.
But when I turned it around, I saw,
Oh,
boy, oh boy, was it custom made just
knocked
for
you
us.
over.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Hold on. We're gonna
Uh-oh.
do something a little unorthodox.
Okay.
Josiah,
ready.
say something right now that you think will make me laugh.
Oh no.
No,
Okay.
No pressure.
Give me. Okay, I'm shaking the dice.
Yep.
Give me a laugh. And roll the dice.
Here we go.
That is awesome. That's like long.
I drew it out one more time for kicks.
That is-
Oh, if you
That's
don't play.
amazing. This is a. That's a.
Does this make the podcast
I
funnier?
think it does. That's just like a homemade laugh track that Caleb made just today, right? Right before this.
Yeah, probably 15 minutes of effort.
That is awesome.
The punishment. I forgot to mention, if you've not listened, the loser of each episode has a different punishment every episode. And last episode, Josiah talked about laugh tracks. So the punishment was that the loser had to make their own custom-made laugh tracks. I unfortunately lost, and so this episode will be featured by some exciting, just high anticipation laugh tracks. High quality.
Some good sweetening.
Yeah,
If you remember from last episode.
I made a couple. Check this one out. This is a staple of the laugh track genre. The aww. Oh, or not. Never mind.
It's somewhere.
That
there.
one did not export. Let's see
Okay.
if this one.
Okay.
No. Okay. So I only have the hard laugh one,
Ooh, That's okay.
but I will. I think every few episodes I'm just gonna throw these in.
Sprinkle it in.
Just long enough to where you kind of forget that they're out there, and then boom, hit with a laugh track.
And then it's going to make people think the show is more funny. So.
Exactly. Because we
Okay.
proved that last
Yeah.
episode.
So I won. I presented the better topic according to the people. Yeah. So
Close though. It was
very
close.
It was very close. We had to extend voting a little bit.
Yeah, that was the closest episode we've ever had.
Yeah. So
So good work, people.
I'm on
for voting.
a 2-win streak right now.
Yeah.
Shooting for 3.
Yeah.
So since I got to go first, since I won, okay.
Josiah is embracing the goof bowl.
Come up with another idea for the goof bowl. Okay, eat a goof.
Eat one of the pieces of paper.
Sure. Okay, I'll leave this out and I'll write that down.
Okay.
Okay, so since I won last time, I get to decide who goes first.
Correct.
I'm going first. I love the.
It stands out way more than I really wanted it
I
to.
love that so much. Okay, this is going to be a fun one.
Yep.
Okay, it's not only going to be a fun one because of the laugh track, but Caleb,
Oh no.
I have a very special surprise.
I'm getting nervous. Wait, what?
There may or may not be somebody that I am going to tap out today.
No way!
And I think they're here, but let me check.
What? Okay. I am flabbergasted.
They're here. You ready?
Yeah, I'm nervous.
Special guest. Hello.
Shut up! Yes!
I'll take this over here.
Okay. Well, hello.
So, introduce yourself, or Caleb introduce our special guest.
Wow. This is none other than the Joe King.
Oh, thank you.
Starting off strong, hitting the door, Sproingy. Hey, did you hear the laugh track I made? Do
That was pretty good.
you want to hear it again?
I always do.
I'm kind of, the more I play it, the more proud I am of it.
What happened to the other two?
I don't know. They're just needlessly silent for some reason. I think I exported them wrong.
Oh.
But I will fix it.
Okay.
I can fix this.
Okay, I'm recording myself over here now. Okay, so this is kind of fun because I didn't really do any research.
Oh, good.
Wait a
So
second.
all the pressure's on you, Joe.
Oh.
So he actually told me about this thing. He told both of us about this thing that he's going to talk about.
You told me too?
At one point, and I was like, "Oh, dibs, dibs on that," and so I won.
So it's yours.
Yes.
Yeah.
How does it feel being our second tap
Oh.
out guest?
I'm honored. I was very excited. Well, I would say I'm the third because Chaz was.
Oh, that's
Was
true.
on one.
Yeah.
Chaz
Special
was
guest.
the
Flamingos.
first official, unofficial guest
Yeah.
host.
Yeah. So
Wow.
one of the three, the big three.
Yes.
That's what we call
Very
it. Guys.
honored.
The
Glad to be
big
here.
3. So since your team won the last episode, since you're on Team Josiah for tonight, you get to decide, I guess, who goes first.
Us.
I'll go.
Oh,
first.
you already
Yeah.
said you were going
Yeah.
first, right?
Just so that to introduce Joe.
It was
Yes.
glamorous.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you. Funny thing, I was gonna show up in a green morph suit and not have you know who I am and just start talking about my topic. But I think you would know who I am with it.
Nope, that would have been really weird to say. I'm gonna omit that from the podcast. There's gonna be something about recognizing your body shape.
Oh,
There's
I would
no way
recognize
to
you
say that.
instantly. No problem.
You came with printed paper notes.
Yes,
That's dedication.
I thought I would just have a thing to go off on, and if I
Okay.
get stuck.
Yeah, this is preparation right here. That's like a mini laugh track.
Yeah, the
nice,
Sproingy.
yeah.
If you can't hear it well on the mics, we've got some Sproingy door stopper situations. Well, I am
All right.
excited.
Are you ready to learn about casinos and how they work?
Yeah, that's on. Okay, I'm gonna have to delete that up from my list. Because you
Oh,
told that
good.
to me, and I've just had it sitting there.
Oh my gosh.
What was that?
Oh. It's tea.
What?
Okay, you continue. I'm gonna clean this mess up.
Okay, to fill everyone in, since this has been a weird couple
horrible.
minutes, Josiah just spilled his tea all over, and then I think played my guitar for a second. So Joe,
Yes.
how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Very excited to be here. Are you ready to learn about
Yeah,
casinos
please
and how they work?
hit me.
All right. So this is what I'm gonna do. talk about the history of casinos very briefly, get the boring stuff out of the way.
Good.
The psychology that they use to bring people in and keep them there.
Oh, that's rich. You know I love
Oh,
psychology.
yes. Some of the advantages they have, and then I have a couple stories that I think will make you
Some fresh casino stories.
make you very
Okay.
excited to go gambling.
I can't wait. I'm already excited.
All right. The first casino was built in 1638 in Venice, Italy. It was called Casino. I'm not gonna even say. Casino di Venezia.
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 Yes.
Venezia.
Casino is from the origin of Italian.
Okay.
The root of it is casa. Casa means house.
Oh, so
The
it's
house
right.
always wins.
It's all coming
It all
together.
merges together. So that's where the phrase "the house always wins" comes to play. It was originally built to be a theater, to where people would come watch plays and everything, and then during intermission, the wealthy people would go gamble for a little bit.
What?
And the people who weren't allowed to do it were thinking, "What the heck? We want to do this too." And so it started a very big boom. And I want you to take a guess on what the casino gambling industry is worth currently today. Take a wild guess.
$122 billion.
Josiah,
I'm gonna go lower end. I'm gonna say $5 billion.
you're gonna want to go higher.
Oh. how many?
711 billion
Okay.
is what
cow.
the industry is worth.
That's
as of
actually
2020
nuts.
with a B.
Billion with a
Billion with a B.
Worldwide.
but. That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's gotta
it's
be
insane.
one of the bigger ones then.
All from the all from the people who just go and make poor decisions and lose all
Yes.
their money.
And that also includes
brilliant.
like lotteries, lottery tickets that you buy at the gas station and
Oh.
whatnot, not just like going into a casino and throwing dice. at
Are you a
table.
lottery ticket kind of guy?
Not really.
Okay. Josiah?
Never.
I
Never
did
loved
win $40 off a $1 scratch ticket once.
them. Okay.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty weird.
Wow. What a day.
Enough to keep you coming back.
Yes, I probably lost all the 40 later on in life. Moving on. So, kind of like I was saying, like gas station stuff you see in a lot of times. They have slot machines in gas station and like hotel bars and whatnot.
Yeah.
Especially around here a lot, and that's because we're on an Indian reservation. And so there was an act October 7th, 1988 that was called the Indian Regulatory Act, which allowed Native Americans on what was it?
They're
Reservation. Indian reservation lands. That's what I was trying to
I was
find.
trying to think of it too. It's like
the
property.
Yeah, no.
Well, kind of, I guess.
land. Okay.
So that's why you see a lot of casinos around
the
here is
act.
because we're on an Indian reservation.
Do you know
Whereas
why that was put into play?
I don't
it
know
just to,
necessarily
like-
why, but
Okay.
the Native American people kind of have like their own rules of what they can do.
Yeah.
And so they're allowed to have casinos
Oh.
and slot machines, whereas a lot of other states they're only allowed certain properties are allowed
yeah,
to have
that makes
casinos
sense.
and whatnot.
I just read, this might be in your notes already. I just read today, actually, that there's one Native American tribe that by the time you turn 18, you're automatically a multimillionaire by the way that their casino's set up and the way the wealth is shared.
Oh,
Really?
That, like,
That's
everyone,
interesting.
by the time you turn 18, you're already multimillionaire.
Do you like go in and work for the casino or something?
I have
or
no
get
idea.
Some
You
kind of ownership?
Probably retire off that. Or put it all on red. Is that a thing?
we're getting to
okay,
that.
sorry.
We're getting to that.
I'm
Don't
jumping
worry.
ahead.
Don't you
excited.
worry.
I took that directly from Psych, an episode of Psych.
But today we're going to talk about commercial casinos. So
Okay.
that's what, like the MGM Grand, all the famous ones you see downtown Las Vegas.
Yeah.
That's mainly what I'm going to focus on, not the
Okay.
the dinky casino.
Not the tiny ones.
Not,
Yes.
The tiny boys.
Small town.
Yes.
Okay.
So in America, there are 462 commercial casinos.
That's more than I would have guessed.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And like I said, the MGM Grand, the Bellagio, those type of casinos. There's a lot of smaller end casinos, but 462. 50 states in America, 48 allow some type of gambling. So again, like the lottery, slot machines, or a full-on.
What are
commercial.
the two that don't?
I was gonna have you guess.
Oh,
California?
Alaska and Hawaii. They're always the two.
There's like a
oddballs.
line. I guess maybe not California. I just remember I've been to Lake Tahoe, and there's like this, when you cross the state line, then there's like casinos on one side. But maybe that's just the city.
North and South Dakota.
Fun guess?
I don't know. Delaware.
Utah and Hawaii.
That's
Utah.
Hey, I said Hawaii.
You did?
Okay, so it's not California.
I think Utah would have been one of the last states that I guessed, though, because
that's
it's the one that
Nevada,
I
though.
think of the least.
Okay, somebody from Lake Tahoe, tell me what the deal is there. Because that's Nevada, California, right? Okay,
Yeah.
move on.
Anyways,
I'm confusing
in
myself.
all of our 50 states, 18 of them allow commercial casinos. So in the rest of the, however many, they only allow like the lottery or slot
Okay.
machines in their
Gotcha.
casinos.
Okay.
Those 18 states are Colorado, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Mississippi, Nevada, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Dakota, and West Virginia.
The first 10 of those were not ones I thought would be on the list.
So it seems kind of spread out. Like, no really rhyme or reason.
Yeah.
There's
Why?
not a gamble center of the U.S.
And
Well,
there's
there is.
Well, I take
I
that
would
back.
assume. I don't know much, but
well, there I don't really talk about it that much,
Okay.
but actually I don't talk about it at all. There's a lot that goes into this, but there's
Yeah,
also
yeah.
riverboat casinos where even though the state doesn't allow it, you get on a boat, go out like 2 miles.
Let's
And
do
then you
that.
can gamble.
out onto the ocean?
Yeah,
Okay, that sounds like a blast.
yeah. It's more well known in like the South area, but
Out on the Gulf, as they say.
So once you get past 2 miles out, that's like, is that called maritime law?
International
yeah,
waters.
in
Something like that.
international
Yeah,
waters.
yeah.
So
Okay.
that's when states that aren't allowed to have a full-on casino. That's
Interesting.
what they do.
I would take myself, the $50 to my name, and go out on one of those in a heartbeat.
It'd be cool just for the experience.
Honestly.
Yeah. 13 of those states, I'm not going to read them all again,
Okay.
but 13 of those states are allowed to serve free alcohol while you gamble.
Ooh, we're getting closer to the psychology.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're
and you're
creeping
probably,
in there.
You're probably thinking, why would you waste a lot of money giving people free alcohol?
I was
Well,
wondering exactly that.
I know you
I
were
was just thinking to myself, why would you waste all that money on free alcohol?
I don't know.
So, the main thing a casino wants you to do
Uh-huh.
is stay in their building. The longer you are there, the more likely you are to spend money.
Just like
Just
Percy
start-
Jackson and the Olympian Thief.
Oh, the little time
Yeah.
thing.
They go
Oh,
to
yeah.
the
Time
gambling
warp.
place and get stuck in there.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that before.
Yeah. Top 10 best movies ever made.
So they're just trying to keep you there.
Yeah, so
Keep
they
you
try and keep
spending
you
money.
there, and that's one of their main draws. It's well known in Vegas that if you go there, you can set out a slot machine. You put $1 in, and then a waiter will come to you and say, "Hey, what would you like to drink?" And you can
Holy
order
cow.
basically anything you want, because they know if they start pumping you with a lot of alcohol, you're like, "Oh, I can put $20 here, $100
Yeah,
here," and it keeps
yeah,
going up and up.
yeah.
I just saved money by not buying this alcohol. I can put that down right here.
Exactly. Yeah. It was free. I can afford it now.
Yeah.
So if the liquids are flowing, then the cash is going to be flowing.
Liquid cash.
The liquids are flowing,
Yeah.
the cash is
Oh, yeah.
growing.
For the casino.
Yeah, not for
Yeah.
people.
That's kind of interesting, though. Do you think? I guess if you're going to somewhere like Vegas, you're not going to go there for the free drinks. You're going there for gambling. So the type of people that are going to be there aren't going to just like put $1 in and then just get free drinks the whole night. So it probably works out. I mean, they do it. So
Yeah.
clearly
I bet
works
they've
out.
done the math. I would.
That's
would
very
presume-
interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Would they do free other drinks? Like if I ordered a chocolate milk? What's the
Give me a chocolate
You're
milk.
at the high rollers table. Can I just get a chocolate milk, please?
I'm all in.
Try it,
2
please.
chocolate milks, please.
Marshmallow on the top. I send it back.
Straw? Silly straw?
Yeah, curly. Oh yeah, do you have those sunglasses straws? I really play better with those.
So that brings you in, and once you're in, they
Uh-huh.
have the whole casino laid out to where you have a hard time leaving physically and mentally, and it's kind of like scary
Very
how much
sneaky.
they go into this. So first of all, there's no clocks in casinos at all. So when you enter the building, they try and have it to where there's no clocks anywhere in your view. If you go to the bathroom, there's no clocks there. The pit, which is where you get your chips from, they normally have like a bar in the movies, like a bar that you can't get through.
Yeah.
There's no clocks there. It's just they don't want you to know the time,
Yeah.
so that you don't leave.
No windows either.
That's
Yeah,
so
that's the next
suspicious.
point. Is there's no windows as well, so that you don't know when it's getting dark or when it's getting bright outside. The doors going into the casino don't have glass like most places do. They just try and shut you
Sneaky.
out from the world.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Just keep you in there.
Yeah, and then the design and the floor layout of the casino, it's kind of similar to like a grocery style where whenever you're walking somewhere, you're always passing something that's really busy or really bright.
Oh.
So I'll get to it in a little bit. But
Okay, the
Really?
psychology of that is so
yeah,
interesting.
It's crazy what they do.
Hello.
It's crazy what they do is so slot machines, I'll talk about it in a second,
Uh-huh.
are the most money generated in a casino, and that's why
Really?
when you walk in there, there's so many.
I guess I would never do that.
That-
If I were to gamble, I would gamble on something where I could at least be involved in the outcome a little
Like
bit.
there's some skill.
Yeah, like poker or something when you have at least a somewhat amount of control.
yeah,
Those
Yeah.
are the most popular?
most popular and
Sheep.
I'll
That's what I say. All
All
of
of
them.
them.
Sheep.
and I'll say later on that they're the most money generating part of the casino because they have the highest house edge to them. I'll
so
get
you
to
don't even have the best odds. Okay.
No, that's the worst odds that you have.
Ah.
But it's
in-
fun for some people.
In a casino, they lay them out to where it's kind of like a maze.
Yeah.
Trying to get through. They have pathways on the side for like emergencies and like regulation.
You
building
have
code
to
stuff.
get out.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's why slot machines are so bright and so noisy and so many different types of games is because you're walking past one as you're going to the bathroom and you see one that says deal or no deal and you're like, oh,
Like,
I know
oh,
that game. I'll put
yeah.
$5 in it real quick.
Is Howie here right now?
Howie.
Oh,
So like they just want you. They just want to distract you every
Mhm.
chance they get.
and then once, depending where you are in the casino, there's a lot of table games as well.
Uh-huh.
And they try and make it to where there's games on both sides of you. And if you see like an empty seat at a really slow table, or you see like a $1 minimum bet, you might be like, oh, I have an extra couple bucks.
Mm-hmm.
I could put if there's an open seat. I'll
Yeah.
go do that real
Yeah.
quick.
The amount I just didn't spend on alcohol is all I needed to afford this table.
Do you think most people are on a budget?
Okay, we've got $25, guys. Let's have fun.
Well, there's also a bunch of ATMs
Yeah.
scattered around,
Yeah.
around the
Of
casino.
course.
Interesting.
But it's kind of like Costco where
Yeah.
they put all the stuff that you want in the back. So
Yeah.
when you're going there, you're like, oh, I do need a new
And
pair
just
of
get
shorts.
sidetracked. Yeah.
Bagels are half off. No way.
Let's just take a trip and do the samples.
Oh yeah. So the layout and the design of them is very intentional with them, especially with the bright lights from the slot machines and everything like that. And then
Huh.
going from there, a little more about the slot machines is they try and buy a lot of rights to certain like TV shows or games for slot machines. So, for example, there's a slot machine that has Friends on it, and you get to play like a game of Friends from the TV show, or like I said, Wheel of Fortune, or Deal or No Deal. And so you're like, oh, I know these guys.
Yeah.
I'll sit down there,
Do this.
put a couple bucks in. I lost. Oh, I'll put a couple more bucks in. Get a drink. Put a couple more bucks in.
Yeah.
So
They're
that's
familiar.
their wannabe rhythm in that.
So they're just trying to make you feel comfortable, like there's recognizable
Mm-hmm.
things that you see.
Yeah. Speaking of comfort, geez, you
so
and I are on the same page. So they
Team.
they
team.
try to make you feel, this is gonna sound weird, at home in
Uh-huh.
a casino. So it's very cozy in there. All the lights are really warm. All the lights from the slot machines, like I said, are really big. Boom, boom, boom. You hear a lot of noise, but it's also very kind of compact in there.
Yeah.
So when you sit down, you're like, oh, I kind of want to stay here.
It's cozy.
I'm pretty cozy, pretty warm.
Oh, it's like you've got your safe space where you're sitting.
Someone would say it's kind of a hygge vibe.
Oh.
This has me thinking, if someone were to design a casino to keep me in there for as long as possible, it would be just nonstop chocolate milk deliveries.
Just a fountain.
They would give, oh yes, a chocolate milk fountain.
Ooh.
They would give blankets with, no,
Oh.
like Snuggies. So you don't have to worry about carrying them around.
Okay.
When
Okay.
you go in,
Somebody places a Snuggie on you.
yeah.
Instead of a suit jacket, it's a welcome, sir. Here's a snuggie.
Here's your Snuggie. And instead of it being warm to make you feel cozy, it would be on the cooler side so that you'd be more enticed to use the blanket. And that's all I got. There wouldn't be all the noises, all the pings and box.
It would just be like some acoustic guitar.
Yeah, just like some nice live music, and it would filter between live music and like good movies, like good marathons, just
Ooh,
on.
That's
and
a
I'd
good
just
idea.
be like, I'm here, and I'm not
I
leaving.
am ready to go.
Well, you said that you wouldn't rather have like dinging light or dinging sounds and everything.
Uh-huh.
The reason why they have that is because every time you hit the button and you win,
Uh-huh.
a bunch of noises come out acting like you won a bunch of money, but in reality you could have lost money but still won. So say you put $1 in, hit the button, and you won 75 cents. It makes you feel like a winner. You won 75 cents, but you actually lost 25 cents.
That's almost.
And so it makes you
disturbing.
feel like a winner, but in reality you're just a loser.
And it probably makes you think that other people are winning too,
Uh-huh.
because you're hearing that noise all over. And once you hear that sound, it just like
It keeps going in
Gets
your
in your
brain,
brain, yeah.
and the adrenaline starts
Rattles.
pumping, and you're like, oh, I just won a little amount. I
Yeah,
can win
yeah.
I think I can win more next time.
Wow.
And so that's why I think slot machines are one of the most well used, is because they make you feel so good winning.
there's a lot of thought put into it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm stressed out by how disturbingly scientific this all is.
And lastly, of like the psychology of everything.
Yep.
Most casinos are attached or are hotels.
Uh-huh.
And that is because, like I said earlier, they don't want you to leave. As long as you're in their building, you're more likely to gamble. So the main casino floor is on the bottom floor. When you enter the lobby, you see all the stuff. When you're getting excited, you go put your stuff away in your room, and then you come immediately back down to play. A lot of casinos, what they do is, if they see that you've been playing a lot of casinos have they're basically like library cards. You come
Okay.
in, you scan that you put in a couple $100.
Ooh,
And
that's
so they can
cool.
track how much money you've been playing with. And if they see that you've been playing a lot, they'll say, hey, we enjoy having you here. Here's a couple free nights if you want. And so they start giving away a bunch of free stuff. They'll give away free coupons that you put in a slot machine, and you get $5 to play for free.
Yeah.
You'll get a voucher. There's a lot of restaurants in casinos, and so they'll be like, here's a free meal on us. We saw that you took a heavy loss. We want you to come back.
Holy cow.
And so they put a lot of money out, because staying in their hotel isn't the cheapest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But a couple free nights
Yeah.
means you're gonna make a lot of
Yeah.
money potentially.
Yeah.
And so that's probably like
cow.
the biggest, scariest thing, is they give you free stuff because they know
You'll
'Cause
lose
they're
it
you're
all.
gonna lose more.
They're tracking you.
Yeah,
What
because you're
an unnerving industry.
That's so much like data collection and math. Just like, okay, boop, 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 put it in the
It's-
computer, and then this guy, they're gonna make a lot of money. We're gonna make a lot of money from them.
Oh man,
yeah. So that's why I said it's
That's-
kind of scary.
Yeah.
it is scary.
And
I'm
They
scared.
know you.
My aunt used to work in, I think it was the MGM,
Uh-huh.
and she went into like the room with all the you'd see in the movies where there's a bunch of TV monitors and they were
Yeah,
looking at
yeah.
every table.
Yeah.
And she says it's unreal that the movies don't even capture all
Oh.
of how crazy it is, because they're monitoring everything that
Really?
you
Holy
do,
cow.
everything that they've seen. Because I mean, there's a lot of money flowing
Yeah,
through there.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's crazy cool, but also crazy scary.
Yeah.
I would be like, I know that I would never be talented enough to be like cheating and succeeding at anything in a casino. But if I were ever like playing something, I'd be like looking over my shoulder.
Yeah.
Like, did they just see? Did they think I just pulled something out of my pocket?
Yeah.
I hope not. It was not. I'm like showing them my pockets.
It's probably like the same.
It's empty.
It's like the same thing as when you walk out of the store without buying anything.
Yeah.
You're just trying to act as normal as possible.
You didn't do anything wrong, but
Yeah.
you're like just.
You're like sweating a little bit.
Or like a police officer's behind you and
Yeah.
you've not been speeding. Just
Both hands on the wheel.
come on, please,
I'm fine.
please.
That's in. Yeah, and plus with just there's people with a lot of money everywhere,
Oh yeah.
and you don't want to make anybody mad.
Oh yeah. I'll share a couple stories in a bit of
Okay.
Oh yeah.
bonkos of money.
Just
Okay.
So here are the best and worst games to play in a casino. So there's a thing called the
Okay.
house edge. So the
Okay.
reason why casinos make money is because they always have an advantage
Yeah.
Yeah.
over you. It's called the house edge. House edge is defined as the mathematical advantage of the gambling game that the casino has over you while you play. Can you take a wild guess what game has the least house edge to it?
I'm kind of thinking something where there's more skill involved.
I would guess like Texas Hold'em.
That's what I'm thinking.
Or oh no, blackjack would be sketchy. Craps. Final answer.
Texas Hold'em.
Blackjack.
It was blackjack.
Oh. Okay.
Blackjack has so every casino has different rules on how to bet
Yeah.
and how to play blackjack, and so it always varies
Uh-huh.
from place to place, but it's roughly 0.5 to 1.2 edge over you the house has
Holy
in blackjack. So they have a 50.5%
Yeah.
winning chance over you on average to the
Yeah.
to the random
Okay.
casino.
50.5.
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad.
No,
Like
at
that's
all.
not what I expected. The very best you could do would be like a 60-40 possibility of winning, or 40-60. I mean.
The top 3 games that I have are all under 5%
Wow.
house edge over you.
What are the other ones?
The second one is craps. That's the dice game for those. Blackjack, for those of you who don't know, is you get to 21 as close as you can. If you go over, it's called busting.
That's one of my favorites.
Yes. Craps is where you throw 2 dice against the wall, and if you hit a 7, you typically will lose. There's I think there's 15 different ways you can bet in craps.
Very complicated.
And so that's where the house edge varies as well. So the house edge in craps is anywhere between 0.6 and like 2. And so they have a higher edge at some
Interesting.
points and lower edge in some other bets as well.
Craps was featured in the first 20 minutes of the first Iron Man movie. In case you
Yeah.
need some reference.
So just go check that out.
Yeah, if you're confused, don't Google it. Just go watch the first 20 minutes of
Straight to
Iron
Disney
Man.
Plus.
You won't get any understanding of how it's played, but you'll see Robert Downey Jr. doing it live. Well recorded.
The third game is roulette. That's where you have a ball spins
Really?
in that wheel.
Really?
And it, like I said, it varies. So
Yeah,
there's different
yeah,
bets. You
yeah.
could place a bet on black. It's going to land on a black dice or a black tile or a red one. And the same thing as Baccarat. Baccarat is a different game, but they basically have the same advantages over it, which is 2.6 to 5%, anywhere in between there. So
Okay.
in blackjack, the way that the house has the smallest edge over you is there's 38 tiles that the ball can land on. All of them are red or black besides 2, and that is 0 and 00, and those are green tiles. And so if you put it on black, there's actually an advantage because it can land on green or red for you to win.
So that's where the advantage comes in. It's just picking between red and black.
Yeah, that's one of the
Yeah.
many bets you can
Oh,
do. But
okay,
that's the
okay.
lowest house edge that they
Oh,
have over you.
okay.
Other bets are very,
Okay.
they vary in differences.
That one was featured in season 1, episode. I don't know what it is.
Wow.
Of Psych, whatever the gambling episode.
Oh.
They like win a bunch of money from solving a case,
Oh yeah.
and then Sean's like, "Yeah, we could take this money and pay bills, or," and then he throws it all on black. I think.
And
Very good.
that's where you get the phrase I'm all on black, and that's in I think a couple movies like The Gambler with Mark Wahlberg.
Marcus.
Good old Marcus. Can you get? Well, actually, I already said it. Slot machines are the worst on a house bed.
Slot machines.
Is it slot machines? Final answer.
What is slot machines for 800? Depending on the game, Wheel of Fortune is the worst.
Huh.
Apparently, Wheel of Fortune is a very common slot machine game, and that has a 30 to 40% house edge over you.
Wow.
So every
And
10
people
times
still
you're
play.
Stay
playing,
away.
you're guaranteed to lose 4, basically.
Stay away.
Yeah. Other games are like Deal or No Deal, like I said, or
Okay.
there's a game called Keno, which is basically bingo. You get to choose a bunch of
I'm
numbers,
interested.
and if your numbers get picked, you win. It's,
Okay.
it's
But are
very
they
strange.
picked out of a fun spinning basket?
No.
Okay, well then
No.
what's the
Yeah,
point?
I
It's
don't
pretty-
know.
It's pretty lame.
Don't with slot machines, don't they like if you have to get like 3 cherries or something, don't they often give you 2, making you think that you're like close to winning,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not any closer to actually winning than
Yeah,
1 cherries is the same as getting 2 cherries basically.
yeah. They
Wow.
make it to where there's always I was so close, maybe next spin I'll get it. And so
Yeah.
like you said, the 2 of the 3 cherries are on the screen or the flicking thing.
So they could probably just make like have however much edge they want because they kind of control the machine, right?
Yes and no. The government has been like mandating you have to at least pay out
okay.
this much,
Oh.
or you have to pay them out. You just have to pay them out. So it
Yeah.
could be you place $1 and you win 50 cents.
You have to get something.
At least you won
Yeah.
something, even though you
Yeah.
lost overall.
I don't know why anyone would ever do that.
Yeah.
I understand like once or twice for the experience, but just sitting there doing that over and over again.
Well, they get you all cozy in the chair. You lay back. Someone is waiting on you. Would you like another drink?
Would you like some more
Lights are
chocolate milk?
flashing. You're just having. You don't know what time it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slot machines were featured in the flick Warrior right before
Oh.
the final fight.
Oh yeah.
With the Tom Hardy movie?
The Tom
He
Hardy
slammed
movie.
all those quarters.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, because his dad came to talk to him and then he got mad and threw all the quarters.
Oh yeah.
And stormed off.
Fantastic movie.
What a movie.
I already talked about. You can put $1 in and only win 75 cents. I like the zip ties on the
Isn't that nice?
Oh yeah.
phone.
So we record these episodes. You can find them on the YouTubes now, which is very fun. Unfortunately, for the umpteenth time of trying to record, we've just realized that it stopped recording early. So maybe your best bet
That's
is just
fun.
listening.
We'll get there.
But Josiah does not have a phone holder for his tripod, so he zip ties it every single
It works.
week.
It's pretty fantastic.
I'll figure something else out.
This is
Maybe eventually.
the most ridiculous podcast setup ever. What else you got for us, Joe?
I was gonna pull it up on my laptop, but it's pretty slow. One more thing about how architecture of or how casinos are overall
Uh-huh.
to draw you in. They make the buildings look pretty cool. So like the Caesar's Palace looks like a palace entrance with
agreed.
big pillars.
Mm-hmm.
There's a place in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, called the Hard Rock, and the casino and the hotel is in the shape of a guitar,
What?
and all of it is glass.
I would go to that.
And
Casino.
I'll send you guys a photo, or you can just look it
Yeah,
up. But
we'll link it.
yeah,
So they draw you in with aesthetics and then keep you in with Percy Jackson voodoo magic.
A time loop.
Yep.
Time warp.
With just some time warps.
yes,
That's interesting. So like,
and
ooh, that looks cool. I should go check it out. And
I should go take my picture in there.
Yeah.
And then you're like, wait, look at all these people winning. And a free drink.
Oh.
And did you just give me a Snuggie? Let's go. I could stay
Is that
here a couple
Warrior
nights.
playing on the TV?
so some of the buildings look really cool as
Yeah.
well, and that's another thing that draws them in. And then the largest casino in the world, you'll never guess where it is.
Utah.
South Dakota.
Dubai?
Oklahoma.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, so you were being serious that we wouldn't guess.
Oh,
I thought it was Vegas and we
Oh,
were just
no.
making
Yeah.
jokes.
No, it used to be in Europe, I think, or Asia, but
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, it's called the Wind Star.
Mm.
Wind in a star.
I think I've heard of that.
It is 600,000 square feet.
Holy cow.
The whole building, including everything. There is 7,000 slot machines in this casino.
That makes me so sad.
100 table games.
I'm
so
okay with that.
a bunch of craps, tables, blackjacks, baccarat, and then I think this is why I think we should take a road trip there. There is an 800 capacity seating bingo hall.
Joe, I would leave right now with you. We'd cut the episode early and we'd go play bingo in Oklahoma.
Can you imagine 800 people playing bingo at once? It's just the first 5 numbers they call. If you don't get it, it's over.
Well, I doubt it's everybody plays at once. But
Everyone's playing the same game. The house odds are 70-30.
Yeah.
Or 95. Well, no, it'd be like 1 in 800.
Yeah.
So bingo. Apparently, it's big in Oklahoma.
Okay.
Man,
Yeah.
I always figured.
Oklahoma. Okay.
How far is Oklahoma from here? I'd go.
Pretty far.
I'd say I'm guessing 26 hours. Right?
Yeah.
I would take
sounds
all
right.
my winnings from bingo, put it all on black.
So that's the overview. I could have gone really deep
Yeah,
into how
sure.
everything works. I could have gone deep into like the riverboat casinos and everything. But I just wanted to give everybody like an overview.
Yeah.
What games to play.
Yeah.
Stay away from slot machines.
Yes.
Go to
That's
bingo.
interesting.
in
So
Oklahoma.
help me. Yeah, meet the 3 of us in Oklahoma next weekend. We'll be binging it up.
And then I got 3 quick stories that
Oh.
they progress into. That's a lot of money.
Okay.
Okay.
So the first one, my dad told me I lived in Vegas for a while,
Uh-huh.
and he went to the Bellagio and played in what are called poker rooms. So
Mm.
it is a glass room, so you can still see into the main floor of the
Okay.
casino. And they're just a bunch of poker tables and people playing poker.
Yeah.
And the way casinos make money in that is they call it, it's called a rake. And so every time somebody wins a pot, say you won a $100 pot, they take anywhere between 5 and 20% of that pot as the casino for hosting the game.
Okay.
Oh, like every time you win?
Mm-hmm. So every time,
So not just when you win the table, every time you win the hand.
every time somebody wins, they're taking 5 to 20%
There we go.
of that.
Yeah, all over again. So basically what you're saying is if you go in with $1,000, well, no, let's put it in my budget. You go in with $50, you would have to make 60 to 70 to make it worth it because they would take 20% of
okay.
that. So to break even,
Yes and no. It's every hand. It's not how much you walk away with. It's every time you win a hand.
oh, so they take from everyone else's money
Mhm,
too,
yeah.
not just the stuff you put. Okay, that
Yeah,
makes more sense.
Okay.
And so my dad was playing in a poker room,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a thing called bad beats.
Bad
beats. So what a bad beat is, there are poker strength hands. So you have a high card, and then a lot of people know what a royal flush is.
Mhm.
It sounds familiar. It's a straight flush basically. And in a casino, if somebody gets a bad beat, which is a full house beating a full house or better,
Uh-huh.
then what happens is there's an ongoing money ticker symbol in the corner, and whatever that amount is, everybody in that room gets a split of that.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because it's really hard to get a full house beating a full house or straight flush being a straight flush.
Because they're so rare.
Yeah, they're so rare. The odds are pretty high.
Yeah.
And my dad was playing in a poker room once, and a guy at another table
Uh-huh.
got beat a straight flush over a straight flush, and the bad beat alarm went off.
Yeah.
And he said everybody in that room, I think he said there was about 15 or 20 tables in there, and there's 7 to 10 people per table.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Everybody in that room immediately got $350
What?
just by being in the room.
Just by existing when
Yeah.
that happens.
Do you have like people try and sneak in, or do they just like shut the
I was
doors?
there. Hey, I was there.
they lock you in.
Yeah.
Nobody leave.
And so and And again, that's another thing that draws people in is they can be in a room
Yeah.
and win money if
Yeah.
something happens.
Yeah.
But
So that incentivizes people to be in,
I
to
wanna
come
be
play
in-
that game, to be in that room.
I want to be in the room when it happens.
you just win.
Just wanna see what
$350
happens.
easily.
What's it like?
So yeah, that was
Interesting.
that was one story. The other one, my dad said he was playing craps in oh man, I forgot this Treasure Island. I think is a casino in Vegas or
Okay.
was back then.
Mm-hmm.
And he saw a guy playing craps at this. It was a high rollers table. The smallest amount of chips this guy had were $1,500 chips, and the highest he had was
Oh.
$5,000 chips.
Oh my.
And in craps, one of the ways you can win a bet is by betting on hard ways. So 2 5s on the dice are facing up, which is
Okay.
a hard 10 is what it's called.
Gotcha.
He put $5,000 on every hard ways you can have, so the 2, 3, 4, and 5. And the lady that was rolling hit 2 of them. And my dad said he walked away with $300,000
Oh
in
my
winnings.
God.
Goodness.
Just in a couple of, probably an hour.
That
or
is
two.
crazy.
It's the amount of high roller tables and what they walk away with
Yeah.
is crazy.
I mean, you know that guy's coming back the next night.
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
Who knows if he can.
I won $400,000 last night and only lost $378 tonight.
I gotta win my money back.
Yeah.
And then I think this story is crazy. I found this on Reddit.
Okay.
It was a guy who works at a casino in New Zealand. He said he had a Thai woman a few months ago. I don't know if this was a few months ago, but
Sometime,
when he
yeah.
said
Yeah.
she was betting $300,000 a hand. And I think this was blackjack.
Holy
$300,000 a hand on blackjack. She lost $12 million at my table in less than an hour.
Oh my goodness.
That is absurd.
The casino paid for her private charter jet to Melbourne and back. So they paid to fly her there and back, which cost $70,000 for the casino to do.
Because they knew she would
Because
be bad enough.
she said she would get more money and come back. So they
No
flew her
way.
there. She
She
got money, which he says he doesn't know why she needed
Yeah.
to go there to get money,
Yeah.
but came back. And the guy said he's not exactly sure why she had to go there, but he had a 16-hour shift that day. And when she came back, she sat at his table again and lost another $15 million.
Oh my goodness gracious.
And this is all in a match. She was probably playing for 3 hours tops.
So
4
she
hours.
lost enough money for 5 people to retire at the age of 20.
Yeah.
In a couple hours.
How do you
And
just-
got a free chartered flight
What
for
does
it.
she do to be able to throw that kind of money around?
I wish I knew, because I would do it.
I would prefer to have that information.
So
Wow.
those are just some of the crazy stories.
So that seems like such an easy decision for the casino. Yeah, just fly her down and back. No problem.
$70,000,
Yeah.
no big deal.
Even if
This
she
lady
makes
is
6
horrible at blackjack or whatever.
Yeah, because to lose that much. Like, why would you? Yeah. You know, I guess if you're rich, you live under a different set of rules.
Yeah.
But, like, why would you not set a limit or just be better at the game?
Yeah.
It doesn't
Take
seem
some
It's a
lessons.
small house edge game, and you lose that much, 29 million or something like that.
Take a lesson or two.
It's so
So-
ridiculous.
So that's all I had. But I brought a deck of cards,
Yes.
and I
Are
thought
we doing this?
I thought of an idea.
Okay.
So, the house edge, I'll be the dealer. I'm
Okay.
representing Josiah.
Okay.
The deal is,
So Josiah's the house too.
yeah, we're the house.
Okay.
But
so I'm
this
the
only
one.
works for Josiah.
Okay.
So you have to beat me in blackjack
Okay.
once.
Okay.
If we win twice, we win. If you win, you win once. The loser,
Uh-huh.
the next episode has to draw from the Goof Bowl as soon as you guys start recording.
I'm in.
Ooh, he guest
Some
hosts
stakes.
once and starts changing rules.
Who does he think he is? A casino?
Yeah, you brought him on. It wasn't me. The person that I tapped out to was way more well behaved. I'm in. Let's do it.
Okay.
This is the easy win.
This was a new deck that I forgot to shuffle before I came here.
Oh, a new one, just like a casino.
Oh,
they,
yeah.
like- is it all casinos that do that? Like a new deck every time?
Mm-hmm. And there's new dice every couple hours for
Okay.
craps tables.
Okay.
What do they do with the old decks and the old dice?
The
Do you know?
dice they recycle, or if you go into a casino and go up to a craps table, you can ask for a set of dice, and what they'll do is they'll pinch or they'll with like a stick thing. They'll dent the dice so they're imperfect dice.
Oh.
So you can't use them as cheat,
Yeah.
but you can take them as a souvenir.
Oh, cool.
That's fun.
Just because it goes through so many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think they recycled
Yeah.
the rest of them.
Okay.
All right, you ready for
Makes
this?
sense.
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go.
All right.
Easy win.
Typically, blackjack is 6 decks, but I
Who
thought-
needs them? Odds are more in my favor,
Yes.
probably. Okay, I've got a 2 and a jack. That
I have
puts
an 8
me.
facing up.
Okay, so the house has an 8 and a face down card.
Let's
I've
go,
got
house.
12.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
You can
I,
hit or you can stand.
I'm gonna say hit me. My goal is to get as close to 21 as possible. And I just hit 21!
That's-
First try.
That's 14.
6 plus 8, yep, 14. So if you hit a 7,
We need a 7, otherwise you're drawn from the goofball. Next episode.
Come on, Joe.
Oh.
16. House always hits on 16 or less.
okay.
So that's
So you're gonna
16.
hit one more time, so you have
So-
to have a 5.
I need a 5.
Let's go. Come on.
Oh my goodness! The
Okay.
house always wins.
This is a good lesson.
Well,
good
Josiah and Joe, the house, just won. That's ridiculous.
So one more.
Tied.
Oh, it was a
It's
tie.
called a push.
Okay.
Oh, I'm in a tricky
15.
situation. 15 is that like the worst you can get, or is 16 the worst, or 14?
Anywhere between 12 and 15 is pretty bad.
But you've got a 10.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to say hit me.
So you bust.
Yeah.
So we win.
Let's go.
So did you say you have to win
We have
twice?
to win twice.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. So this next hand,
If I don't
winner
win.
takes all.
Oh, it's a 10 and a 7. Great.
Ooh.
And
Jack's facing up.
all right, I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna hope on
Oh.
17.
Okay.
19.
Okay.
Yeah. the house always wins.
Ouch. Yeah. The Caleb doesn't win even once.
It's a good lesson.
If I was that lady, I would have just lost $4 million.
Just then, right there.
So, goofball.
Thanks for
next
bringing-
episode.
Thanks for bringing an interactive experience.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, you guys can have this.
Oh.
Really?
Let's let's cover the wall and the entire deck. You can do
Okay.
that.
We'll just
One by
staple
one.
them to the wall.
And
Little
that's all I got.
Good.
That's awesome.
Good topic.
Yes. Thank you.
That was fascinating.
Thank you very much.
You've done well. And now it's my job to somehow beat you. Man, bringing a tap out really sways the
Yeah,
odds
it
in
does.
your favor.
Yeah.
I
I hope
am
so.
not
I
optimistic.
would hate to be the first losing guest.
Ooh, you heard it here first, folks. Let's make Joe the first losing tap out guest. Okay, quick reminder on the tap out rules. So it's a rule in our little Learn Me Something rule book that either of us can bring in a tap out, or we can tap out at any point in any episode if we want to. I did it recently, Josiah did it tonight. And what that means is you bring in another person, they'll present, and then the voting goes on as normal. If they lose, either Josiah and I have to do the punishment anyway. So if Joe loses, Josiah is still punished.
Yeah. So
Our guests
you're
will
not
never
gonna
be,
have to.
be punished. Yeah, so if you're
That's
thinking
if you
about
want
being on
to.
the show.
Depends on what it is. Text me what it is.
You're more than welcome.
All right, you ready for my topic,
I'm so
everyone?
ready.
I'm very excited.
Yes.
I'm nervous actually, because I don't know. I'm feeling pessimistic about the outcome of this episode.
Oh.
Oh no.
You
Stay strong.
You
Stay
brought
strong.
paper notes.
Stay
That's
strong.
Good.
You got it.
All right, I'm talking about beans.
No way. That's awesome.
Specifically, coffee beans.
Jumping beans.
I thought about talking about the Mexican jumping beans, and I looked into it. Not enough for a topic, but did you know they jump because there's little larvae in there? And when
I've
they
heard
heat
that
up, they
before.
like jump around, and so that's why they jump. Isn't
Because
that creepy?
The larva's like trying to get out and they're like dying.
Yeah, so there's a living thing inside of the beans, and they're trying to escape. That's why they hop around.
Okay.
Anyway, we're not talking about those.
I'm
we're
gonna be
talking
honest, I didn't know a Mexican jumping bean was like a real thing.
Yeah,
I
it
thought it was
is.
like a toy.
Well, I googled it today,
Okay.
so it's 100% true.
Okay.
We're talking about coffee beans. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Please.
We're just gonna do a general history of coffee, Because as I was looking into it, I realized, I know right now, all of you, ladies and gentlemen listening, are like, here we go, just a history lesson, gonna be boring. It's gonna be all about Julius Caesar and all that. But
It always is.
there's some twists in this story. So why don't we dive to 850 AD, okay?
Oh,
We're in Ethiopia. Legend has it, legend meaning this story was recorded hundreds of years later.
okay.
Written, they found a written recording of this story, so we don't know for sure if it's true, because if it was later. But for tonight, because it's fun, let's assume it's real.
Okay.
Okay? We've got a guy named Kaldi. He's living in Ethiopia, right next to a monastery.
Yeah, he is.
He's a goat farmer. And one day he goes out to check, or he's a goat herder, excuse me.
Okay.
One day he goes out to check on his goats, and he finds that they will not stop hopping around, and they're being super loud, super noisy little
Guys,
goats.
stop.
Yeah, he's like, why are you dancing so much? And so he did some investigating, finds out they're all eating these red cherries. He's like, huh, there's something here. So he eats one. Okay, he gets all energized, and then he's like, there is something here, something important that needs to be discovered. Turns out, it's a good point to mention, coffee beans are not beans. They are the pit of a fruit. A red fruit that looks like a cherry. The inside of it is a pit or a little seed, and that is what the coffee bean is.
Can you eat the cherry? Is it called a cherry?
Uh-huh. Back in the day, which is a little bit of evidence that this story is in fact not true, but we're going to go with it. Back in the day, apparently they would mash them up and then put them with like animal fat, and they would name them, I'm assuming, energy balls, because what else would you call them? And so they just chew on them like little, gum, energy gum.
Oh.
Anyway, so Kaldi finds this. He's like, man, this is awesome. I gotta tell someone. So he goes to the monastery, finds the monks, right? He says, hey, you gotta try these. There's two versions of the story. The first version, the monks are like, this is awesome. You're a hero. Great work. Second version of the story, the monks are like, we disapprove. So they throw Kaldi in the fire, and then the aroma of these fruits come up out of the fire, and the monks are like,
That's good.
wait, hold on. We're gonna go with the first version because it seems less ridiculous.
Did he have like beans in his pocket or something?
Well, he brought them to show, and so he probably was just filled with them.
Oh, ew.
Chest pocket, pant pocket, everything, and they just kind of shoved him. But we're gonna go with the version that the monks just liked it. And
Okay.
So they start making this coffee, and they're like, we're taking a vow to have this every night because it's gonna help them pray all night, right?
Oh, okay.
So there you go. There's the origin of coffee. Now, way back in the day, once they got into the official coffeeness, what they would do is they just ground it up. They'd take the pit out of the fruit. They'd ground it up a lot, and then they'd boil it. And boom, there you have your coffee. So it'd take a long time to make,
Yeah.
but tasted just like coffee. Good old black coffee. Now, let's jump ahead to the 15th century. So Ethiopia is the king of coffee for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Huh.
It makes its way all the way across the Red Sea into Yemen to a port called, any guesses?
Cafe.
Yemen's port.
Excellent guess.
Both as logical as you could have considered with the information you were given. The port was called Mocha.
Oh.
Uh-huh. That's how Mocha was born. So,
Okay.
they get it into Yemen. Yemen starts making it. Gets really popular. It was known, forgot the actual, or the name, but the translation is the wine of Arabi. So they referred to it as like a wine. And so coffee houses start popping up all over the place. They start popping up around Arabia, and they're called schools of the wise. So coffee shops from the very beginning
Really?
are like this philosophers, educated people hang out, free thinkers fight the power, all those guys.
Wait,
hung
what'd you
out.
say it's called?
Schools of the Wise.
Schools of the Wise.
The OG coffee
That's
shops.
what I'm calling coffee shops.
jeez.
I'm
Do you
gonna
wanna
go to a School of the Wise.
It became so popular that Mecca outlawed coffee, partly because of the nature of it. They thought the stimulation factor of coffee was a bad thing, and there was also a governor that was afraid that it would unite his opposition. That all these people were meeting in the schools of the wise, and were rising up to take him down. So they ban it. Which leads to, this is why this is a fun story, leads to the Arabia coffee riots. Basically, people were so mad that they outlawed coffee that they took to the streets and rioted and protest, begging for it to come back.
I believe that.
Yeah. I mean, if we're gonna, you talked about one form of addiction, and I'll be talking about a form of addiction. So yeah, they begged for it back. Eventually, they got it back. Everyone was happy again. People were becoming wiser and wiser the more they drank. So, moving on a little bit, Arabia decides they want to control the flow of coffee. So, right now, if people want coffee, they have to buy the beans from Yemen, right? Because Yemen's the only way it's coming in. And Yemen boils all the beans so that there's no fertile beans. No one can take a bean, plant it, and have their own coffee
That's smart.
plants growing up. Yeah.
Very wise.
Yeah.
So here's where the next fun part of the story. I'm telling you, lots of twists in this story. Our hero of the story, Baba Budan, who was a saint who lived in India, he decided that he was ready to make his pilgrimage to Mecca. So he makes his great pilgrimage. We're now in 1670, in the 1670s.
Okay.
And after his pilgrimage, he swings by the coffee shop, the School of the Wise. He steals some fertile coffee beans. Now he straps them around his stomach so that people won't find them, because apparently they didn't do any pat downs in this age.
What?
Yeah. And he smuggles the first fertile coffee beans ever to make it out of Yemen or Ethiopia
Wow.
back to Frappuccino, India. I'm just kidding.
There's no way.
He does smuggle them back to India, but it's not Frappuccino, India. I really, really wanted it to be. Next, this story has a lot of weird little twists. A Dutch governor of, this one's not a joke, Java, Indonesia,
Oh yeah, I've heard of that one.
was sent some coffee seedlings. So he started a thriving Indonesian coffee business, and now Indonesia's fairly famous for their coffee. So after that, Arabia can't keep a handle on it anymore. Coffee's out there, and it's out there to stay. So it makes it to Europe. That's the final nail in the coffin. Coffee is now everywhere.
Wow.
So typical, makes it out to Europe. It makes it to Venice in the later 1500s. So this has been, since the beginning, since the legend of how it started, it's been close to 1,000 years now, just making this process happen of spreading coffee. Kind of an interesting fact for you. Are you guys ready for the next little story tidbit of this history lesson?
Real quick.
Yep.
So it's basically all from, you said Yemen and Ethiopia, just all coffee, and it's just kind of spread.
Spreading
So
out.
It's only native to that spot.
Do
you know?
I read a couple sources that said apparently Yemen has its own legendary stories of how coffee was discovered, and that was in Yemen, but most people believe it was in fact Ethiopia. So originally, yes, we're gonna for tonight say just Ethiopia.
Okay.
Or if it was other places, it was not discovered there, and maybe they found them later. But I mean, over 1,000 years, if it's all coming out of Ethiopia and Yemen, you can assume that that's probably the main place.
Okay.
So pretty cool.
That is very interesting.
Yeah,
It's from Africa
yeah,
Wow.
it is interesting.
or Asia.
Wow. Are you ready for the Catholics to get involved? Because boy, are they going to.
They are good at that.
So coffee makes its way to Venice. Okay, everyone's very excited except
Yeah.
the Catholics. who basically the Western world, which is majorly Catholic at this point, says coffee is satanic, and they ban it. They literally actually think it's satanic. They're not just being harsh. They think it's actually satanic.
When was this?
Still
Late 1500s.
Okay.
So yeah, it's been a while, but still pretty early. I wrote in my notes, typical. ...
Typical.
So our hero in this section of the story is Pope Clement VIII. Okay, so the Catholic board, I don't know what their official title is, but some important Catholic people come to him and they're like, hey man, coffee's blowing up. We gotta stop this. This is satanic. We all know it. And Pope's like, well, I'm gonna try before I buy or call satanic. So he decides to try some coffee. And here's a quote, a translated quote from Pope Clement VIII, who says, "This Satan's drink is so delicious that it would be a pity to let the infidels or unbelievers have exclusive use of it." Basically, it's like coffee's so good that all the people who don't believe in God, they don't deserve to be the only ones who get to drink coffee.
Oh, turn the tables.
Yeah. Here's another quote. This is ridiculous. Here's another quote by good old Clement. He says, "This devil's drink is so delicious, we should cheat the devil by baptizing it."
Wow.
So,
I'm gonna needlepoint that. Hang
That's
it
a
up.
bold phrase.
so in case you've grown up always wondering, coffee has, in fact, been baptized and cleansed officially by the Catholic Church to cleanse it from the devil's influence so that Christian people could drink coffee.
There we go.
I was wondering that. Yeah.
If you've been nervous, I know every time I drink coffee, I'm worried that I'm sinning or something. It's been blessed and cleansed by Clement, Pope Clement.
Are you more holy if you drink coffee?
You are now. I don't know how many drinks that he personally cleanses.
That's pretty weird.
Isn't that like, why? Yeah, a lot of this is...
Mostly, I don't understand it. I'm not a coffee drinker, and it tastes pretty gross to me.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why.
Joe, do you like coffee?
Mm-mm.
Why would you do that?
I'm in the minority here. I know that I'm preaching to a lot of coffee fans,
Oh,
though.
for sure.
So,
I just don't understand. But, everybody enjoys their own thing.
I would agree with you that it's not worth the stink that has been caused in this history lesson so far. Like, if this whole thing was about chocolate milk, 100%.
I would be up in
I'd
arms.
throw hands to keep that recipe a secret. But, oh man, the more I scroll through my notes, the more funny things about the history of coffee I realize that I forgot about. So moving on here, these shops spread across Europe. This is the Age of Enlightenment. So they become known all across Asia, all across Europe, as a place to have stimulating conversation. Philosophists, revolutionaries, they would all go to this place, or to these places for stimulating conversation. They'd have these big political debates in these schools of the wise as well. I'm assuming by this point they're not called schools of the wise anymore, but I'm going to hope they are. You ready for the next twist in the story?
Yeah, always.
You want to hear what the women have to say?
Oh boy, does Josiah want to know?
Because it is about time for the official Women's Petition Against Coffee movement.
Really?
To summarize, their husbands were all spending a lot of time in these shops having intellectual conversations and, being philosophers instead of being home with their wives. And a lot of these wives were not too stoked about it. The women's petition also claimed that coffee made men too talkative. Quote from the actual petition here: "They sup muddy water and murmur insignificant notes till half a dozen of them outbabble an equal number of us at gossiping."
That's incredible.
So there you go. There's the official women's
They're
petition.
talking
against
too
coffee.
much.
To be fair, to stand up for women here in this instance, some people think that this was not really from women or directed at coffee, but more was a political thing to stop people from going to these shops because this is where political things were happening.
Okay.
So it was a clever ruse to get people to stop going.
Interesting.
But I think it's way funnier to allow it to just be some wives that were unhappy that their guys were spending too much time. This is like all the guys watching football all day long every day. This is the equivalent. So it makes it to Vienna. The Turks tried to invade the land in Austria, but they couldn't. And when they couldn't, they ended up leaving a lot of coffee behind. So one of the officers of the little battles that went on there, he opened a shop called the Blue Bottle, and he started adding milk and sugar to the coffee. And that is where milk and sugar added to coffee is born. So there you have it. Next, coffee makes it to the Caribbean, where it was well growable, as we all know. So that's how it makes it over to the Americas. Let's move on to the U.S. here, and then there's some shenanigans in Brazil that we'll get to, and then we'll be done. So, United States, well, we weren't the United States yet. Americans, we did not like coffee. We were hardcore tea people until 1773, when what happened?
Tea Party.
Yep, that's right. The Boston Tea Party, at that point, which this is something I never considered, but it makes a lot of sense. At that point, switching from tea to coffee wasn't really because anyone wanted to, but it was a patriotic duty to the Americans to not drink tea anymore.
I did not even think of that.
Yeah, because everyone drank tea when they moved over here.
Yep, and everyone was big on tea, but then they started taxing it, and they said, no more, so they dumped
something else.
Yep, they dressed up as Native Americans, dumped all the tea into the harbor, and then as a patriotic 4th of July duty, all the Americans were like, we're never drinking tea again. We're switching to coffee, because it's the only other option that we like.
It'll have to do.
And Teddy Roosevelt is said to have drank a gallon of coffee a day, and he quoted that it was good to the last drop. So, big coffee fan in Teddy.
Him.
That doesn't surprise me.
Good for him.
Yeah,
Seems it was like also the type of guy that would do that.
It was also made very popular during the Civil War as a way to stay energized during the war, and during the Great Prohibition. So there's how it blew up here. And I think, if I'm right, we're still the country that imports and purchases the most amount of coffee. Because the only place we have growing it is Hawaii. So
I can see that.
Just imagine if they didn't tax tea so much. Whoever's in charge of Big T
Big T
could have made a lot more money.
Big T shouldn't have been so greedy. Sorry, that was probably the worst joke of the night. Should we move on to Brazil's shenanigans real quick?
There's always one.
Yeah. Every episode, every Learn Me Something episode, there's one Brazilian shenanigan.
That's not true.
So Brazil got a hold of coffee too. Apparently, a Brazilian colonel, Francisco de Melo Paleta, went to Guyana to settle a dispute, but his main goal, so he's just settling dispute between a French governor and someone else. I don't know the details, and I didn't really care too much, because his main purpose from going there was to get the French governor to give him some coffee to take back to Brazil. That's all he wanted.
Okay.
So he goes and he settles this dispute, then he pulls the French governor aside, and he's like, hey man, since you're here, we want some coffee in Brazil. The French governor's like, no, that's not happening. So he asks again, hey, we really want coffee, please, just a little bit. French governor's like, no, we're making money shipping our coffee to you, so you're not getting nothing. So, good old Francisco secretly becomes really close friends with the governor's wife. Over a long period of time, he befriends her and becomes close with her. And then he's like, hey, we're tight, right? And she's like, oh yeah, we're practically besties. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna need you to steal some coffee from your husband. And she says, yeah, no problem. So she gets some clippings, coffee plants, and she sneaks them to him, and he sneaks them back to Brazil, which has made Brazil like one of the biggest coffee industries in the entire world. All because Francisco befriended a French governor's wife because he wanted some coffee.
He like became a spy
Yeah, like literal international spy just to get some coffee.
just to get some plants.
I'm telling you, there are some real twists and spins in this story that I did not think I would come
I
across.
did not either. I've never thought about the history of coffee before.
Me either, till today. That's pretty much all the interesting stuff. 1901 in Italy, Luigi Bezzera created the first espresso machine. Basically, he used water and steam under a really high pressure to brew water quickly, so you don't have to boil it and do it really slowly. But it was super bitter, super nasty. No one liked it. So 40 years later, Achilles Gagaya, also in Italy, finally is like, you know what, let's perfect this. So he creates a new espresso machine that uses a piston, don't ask me how, I just wrote it down, to get coffee at an even higher pressure. So it just puts more pressure behind the steam and water.
Oh.
And that was much less bitter. The only difference is that it left a layer of cream on top of each shot, which is where cappuccinos were born. Cappuccinos and lattes, all those fun things. And Frappuccino India,
Right, the real place.
yeah, they were
That's
they
what
were a
it's-
big part of that too.
Yeah.
And then after that, you know, we've got Folger, Maxwell, Nestle, Starbucks. All those guys popped up and took advantage, making coffee one of the biggest industries in the entire world. For a while, people thought that coffee was the second biggest commodity behind oil. Over time, that's been disproven, but
Sand.
sand is the
Oh.
biggest.
It's one of the biggest.
Good throwback.
Yeah.
Yeah. In 2016, global coffee exports were almost 20 billion, and that was 5 years ago. So
Wow.
we've probably definitely surpassed the 20 billion mark by now.
Less than casinos.
All,
Highly less than.
yeah, seriously. All because good old Caldi saw that his goats were hopping and was like, man, I gotta tell a monk about this. And because Pope Clement decided to bless it so it wouldn't be so satanic.
And for a spy to befriend somebody
Yep.
to take it somewhere else.
And for the Americans, us good old United Staters, to
Be
have to dump some
patriotic.
tea. Yeah, dump some tea and be patriotic. That is like a pretty American thing, though. We're not drinking tea anymore.
Nobody's drinking.
we don't-
Anybody
your
got
rules.
any other drink with them? I got some coffee.
We're drinking that.
Yep. Everybody, you love this.
Yeah.
Tea, coffee.
I'm looking up like a picture of a coffee cherry.
Yeah.
I've never seen this before.
I genuinely had no idea how coffee came about. I just assumed that, I mean, I've seen coffee beans before.
Yeah.
I just assumed they sprouted off little plants
Yeah.
and fell onto the ground, and apparently there's a couple extra steps that I had no idea
Yeah,
about.
so that's got to be a whole process of taking out the
Defruiting
bean.
them.
Yeah.
I wonder too if they use the fruits for anything.
I can tell you the anatomy of it.
Ooh.
It's got outer skin, pulp, mucilage.
Good.
That sounds tasty.
Who let Josiah on Google?
Parchment, silver skin, and the green coffee bean. So
So, there you have it.
very full. Lots in there.
I think I would sometimes mix cocoa beans and coffee beans, and so I thought at one point they came from the same place.
Oh.
And that's why they were kind of like
They look-
chocolatey, but that's just
They
flavor.
look kind of the same, don't
They
they?
do
Both
look
brown.
similar.
Brown.
Well,
meat.
once you remove one of them from the bright red fruit. So yeah, there you go. There's my topic on beans.
There's a
Wow.
lot of twists in that story. That was good.
Yeah, the more I read, the more pleasantly surprised I was. Sometimes I'll look up a topic and
Yeah.
be like, please be interesting, please be interesting. And I was very excited when I was researching this. Every extra sentence I read, I was like, oh, we're going places.
Yeah, it grows like in a bunch, like grapes.
A bundle, if you will.
Exactly. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been learned a lot.
Well, you didn't bring anything to the table, so
Yeah, everything. I didn't teach anything tonight.
so everything was new for you.
I enjoy that.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I really enjoyed it when you and Abby did it, and I just kind of hung out.
Just the peanut gallery over here. That's me. Okay, so the punishment
Yes.
for this episode. The loser has to have a mustache until they win again.
Yeah.
Just
So-
a mustache,
Just a mustache.
like
Yes.
clean shave.
It
just a
doesn't have to be
stash.
perfectly clean shaved, but like a mustache.
It has to be noticeably mustachy.
I'm a little worried. I've had a beard like this for probably 2 years.
Oh.
I haven't seen like clean shaven Josiah in a long time.
Did you hear that, listeners? That would be fun. I've been clean shaven all the time. That's
Like,
so
I
boring.
look so normal.
Yeah. I'm excited. I think this one will be funny.
Yeah, so it's at
'Cause-
least, you'll have to have one for at least a week.
Yeah, minimum a week,
No,
but
no maximum.
no max. So like if I win this episode, which I think my topic gave me a fighting chance.
Yeah.
Sadly,
you deserve
I
some
would agree.
credit. You deserve some credit. It's pretty interesting.
So if I win, you go mustache, and then if I just continue to win, might even do some campaigning to keep people voting for me.
Yep.
Then
That's
you're
smart.
just like, what's our rule? Can we like shave or trim the mustache, or is it just like grow until
You
it's
can
done?
maintain it.
Yeah.
I'd say. You
You
don't have to eat when you're eating it. It just goes in your mouth. That's not good.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can maintain it. I'm going full handlebar if I lose, because
Oh.
I definitely am genetically
You can't.
capable of that.
And so that's why you should vote for Josiah, so that Caleb goes full handlebars.
Wouldn't you like to see Kayla with the handlebar mustache?
Man.
I know I would.
Why would I?
Josiah, why should people vote for Joe?
Okay. Many reasons. One,
Thank you.
just the preparedness. You should see this guy's notes. He
You-
was ready.
We're quite
he knows
prepared.
his stuff.
Uh-huh.
I asked questions. He knew it.
Yeah.
He had a nice flow of the entire presentation.
Oh, thank you.
I learned a lot about how casinos work,
Yeah.
the dark side of it, the secrets. I learned the best types of machines or games to play,
Yeah.
what to stay away from.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a nice mix. A little history. Learn that Oklahoma has the biggest casino in the world.
Yeah.
That
no
we're going to
idea.
be in Oklahoma next weekend.
Yeah. If anybody's free, swing in.
I learned that I am going to Oklahoma next weekend.
Hey, good point. If there are listeners of the podcast in Oklahoma, send us a direct message, and when we go down there, because it will happen someday,
Oh, yeah.
when we go down there, we can like meet up and do something
That'd
fun.
be cool. Show us around the casino.
Yeah, because you for sure definitely
You'd get
know.
lost.
If you live in Oklahoma, you know how
You
that casino
know.
is.
Everybody knows.
Uh-huh. Everybody.
Okay, so that's what I'd say. Just overall, great job. I feel very confident.
Oh,
and I'm
thank
so
you.
glad that I brought you.
I was
as a
I was
guest.
pretty nervous.
You did a great
Research
job.
has like, oh, this might not be enough, or somebody
Yeah.
probably knows this already.
No way. That comes with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not worried at all.
Mm.
But it was a great topic.
Yeah,
But
thanks.
yeah,
Thanks a
so now
lot.
you get to go.
Okay, I think people should vote for me because I took something that no one thought they needed and just blew the world up and showed them that there is some interesting backstory behind a staple of most of the world, which is coffee. Now, if you're a coffee fan, I don't think you can ethically not vote for my topic.
Okay.
but if you're not a coffee fan, is that breaking the rules?
You can say whatever you want.
Okay, good. If you're not a coffee fan, you can still vote for me based off of just I think I brought some interesting backstory.
There's a
And,
brotherhood.
Yeah, I brought a brotherhood.
There's camaraderie
Uh-huh.
amongst coffee drinkers, probably.
If you're conflicted of who to vote for, shoot us a direct message on Instagram. We can meet up in a school of the wise and just talk it through.
out.
Yeah.
Pros and cons.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good idea.
Get some philosophy,
Play some
maybe rise
blackjack,
against the
maybe.
government.
Yeah.
Play some blackjack.
If I win, you vote for me.
Ooh, okay, that's fun. I would challenge anybody who doesn't know who to vote for that if they can beat me in blackjack, they can vote. They'll vote for Joe. And if they lose, they have to vote for me.
Okay.
Anyone
take
who
those.
wants to go that route.
I take those odds.
Okay.
Best odds I've ever had.
Oh
Okay.
man, what an episode, guys!
Thank you guys for having me. This
Yeah,
was
that's
this
so
was very fun.
Yeah.
Small round of
glad to
applause.
hear.
Oh,
Small one.
thank you.
Yeah.
I'm honored.
Okay.
Uh,
Joe,
Mm-hmm.
as the tap out guest of the episode, would you like to do the honors?
Oh yeah. Hey Larry, can you play us out, please?